So we are doing this chat application and we are working on the chat. If you know, if I keep chat here in the components and I put lot of state variable and functions here in this file, so it really will become difficult to transfer the variable from this page to chat users page, or from chat user to messages page. So I was thinking we will move this to the Redux so that I can easily go from one part to another part of the chat. So right now, if I want to manipulate the variables, it's only in the chat.js, and it will become really difficult when we move further and we want to transfer variable from one page to another. So also, if I put all actions in the actions part and all reducer in the reducer part, then I don't have chat component separate, which I can use in other applications. So what I was thinking, I will create one folder called a new folder, and I will name this folder as, for example, modules. And inside the modules, I will create a new folder called as chat. So all my related files related to the chat application will go here. So actions will also go here. Reducers will also go here. So all the stuffs which are related to the chat will go here. So for example, one of the file is chat.js. So let me create the files. So I will be reworking on the chat part. I will be taking code from here, but I will be putting it in the chat folder. And I will be moving all the functions to the reducers so that I can use it all over the site. And if some function is not used in the reducer, then I will put it in the chat only. So if I want to transfer variable from one page to another, that I will put in the reducer. So here I will create first file as a chat.js. Second one, I want chat users. So I will create another one, new file, chat users.js. Then I need messages.css. So I will create a new file called as messages.css. And I need another messages.js. I'll create a new file, messages.js. Then I need reducers. So let's create a reducer for chat only. So I'll say chat reducer.js. And I need the action. So I will create action also. I will say chat action.js. All my chat related files, maybe few more will come. I will put it into modules and chat so that my chat will be isolated to my whole project. So tomorrow, if I want to use this chat in another project, I will just copy this chat folder and put it there, and I will be able to use it. Otherwise, here, if I tie it everything to this action or this reducer or this components, I won't be able to export it to another project or use it in another project. So from now, whatever things we will build into the, let's say, modules, and in modules we will create this own folder so that we can easily use it in other projects. So now, keeping everything same, you just create this folder modules, and in the modules create the folder chat and put all these files as I created. Right now everything is empty. I will fill it in shortly. So just create this folder. I will be doing a lot of copy pasting because we have already done it. I don't want to waste time, but I will be moving some things from here to another. Okay, so now first we will put some easy stuff. Let's put this messages.css into this messages.css because that's very simple, straightforward. So just copy messages.css to this messages.css. Let's do that. Now, what I will do, I will, since this URL is starting already with chat, and I don't want to disrupt this part because we have already worked on it and we want to see something from this page. So right now I will create another routing which will go to this chat one. So I will just create another route path. One second. Okay. So what I will do, I will create another path which will be for now. I will say import chat2. Right now I put chat2, but later on I will change it to chat once I'm done with all the things. So I will say from. So it will go to modules. Inside modules, it will go to chat folder. Inside chat folder, it will go to chat.js. So I'll be using this chat2 and I will be creating one path. So two paths I have to create like this. So one will be chat2 and chat2 to user ID. Later on, I will change it to chat, or maybe we can make this as a chat and the old one I will make it as 2. Okay, so let's make this as a chat2 and this I will make it as a chat. Okay, so this will be chat, this will be chat2, and the original chat I will change it to 2 so that I can use it as a 2. So in the app.js, just call this line import chat from modules chat.js. This is the first line you have to put in the app.js and change old chat to chat2. Okay, now add this path of chat and rename the old one to chat 2. Okay, now what we will do, we will build the template layout, only the skeleton for the component. So this is the component. So I right now I'll only create the component chat and chat. So like this, I will copy this. I will give you this in the chat. So this is the bare component, the skeleton which we use in the starting component as a starting component, and I will do it for chat users also, and I will do it for messages also. Okay, so I will do in three. I don't need to do in the action and reducer. So just do this bare skeleton in messages, chat user, and chat. Okay, now I will just put some text in the chat and I'll see whether it's working fine on the browser. Is it coming or no? So if I go to chat, I'm able to see in the new chat one. And if I go to chat two, I should be able to go to old one. So it's working fine. So let's go to the chat now. So that's fine. Okay, let's go ahead. I will create a reducer here in the chat reducer, which will take care of all the reducer kind of thing. So to do the reducer, I will go to the my action reducer and I will try to get the reducers. How to build the reducer? I'll build similar one here. So this is my reducer kind of thing. I will copy things and I'll put in the chat reducer and I'll delete almost everything. Okay, so let's delete everything in this case statement except the default, and I'll delete all the variables initially because I will be building the variables now. So right now I will delete the and I'll rename it to chat reducer. So this is my bare chat reducer. I'll give it in the chat. So just create this chat reducer. Okay. So chat reducer is done. Action, we will build it shortly. Okay, so first thing we will, okay, let's close all the files first. So first thing we need to build the chat page, which should look like this one. So we have to build this interface kind of thing. So on the left side, we have a list of users. On the right side, we should have the chatting kind of thing. So let's build it, and I'll go to the chat.js. I will not right now work on this one because I want to think which thing I have to put in the reducer, which thing I want to put it here. So let's copy this whole content and I will put it in the chat.js. Right now, I will delete this chat users part. So I'll just say chat users because no variables are there. So I don't need to work on the variables right now. And I will delete this for now. I will put it once. I will delete this one. Okay, so we have the send message. So I'll create a one function called as send message. So this will be calling send message. And I need the state variable to save this one. So maybe I can copy some of the state variable now. So let's create this constructor and put the constructor here. And right now I will only put a message kind of thing because I'm using message here. And this will update it. And on submission, we will call this send message. That's the reason we are having this send message. For now, I will not send anything to the messages. And I will delete this part for now. Okay, so now let's see how this looks. If I save this, how this looks. Let's see. So it's saying chat users is not available, messages is not available because we did not call this chat users component here. So maybe I can import chat users from /chat users.js because both are in the same folder. I can call in the same folder because both are in the modules chat folder. So let's call the messages also. So I'll say messages from messages.js. So at least, okay, I want to go via chat. So I'm able to see this box. I am not able to see this one because nothing is written in the chat users file right now. And I don't see any messages because nothing is written. So right now you do this, call these two files like this. Call this chat.js here. These two files in the chat.js.
Ben, but the following part is not the same as you.
Okay, I will give you this part. Have you done this part changes? Okay, let me
No.
and then put that one. Okay. So now thank you. Kubika.
We need the send messages function too.
Yeah, sorry. So I will give you these two things. Sorry. Send message function and constructor to save the state. Okay. Now let's build some more things now. So if I see when I load the page, I call this function called as component date mount. So let's create this function without anything in between. So let's only put the component date mount, and so just create this function component date mount. This will be helpful in the reloading the page, loading the page. Okay, so now what I will do, I will try to grab the user ID from the URL. So let's grab the user ID from the URL. This is something we are getting the user ID from the URL, and if user ID is not there, okay, or if user ID is there, then only we will go with further things. So if user ID is there, I can call some other functions. So right now I'll not put this if condition. Right now I want to just say to user ID. So put this line in the component date mount. This is something if we get something in the URL to user ID. Okay, so now we want to recognize who is to user ID in this page and who is from user ID. Okay, so we will save this to user ID in the variable which is available all over the place. So we should know if to user ID is available in all the page. So first thing which we will do is creating the action to save the two user ID. So I will go into the reducer, chat reducer. So first thing I want to know, I will keep the variable called as to user ID. Initially, I will say null. So to user ID is a null, and I will call one case called as change user ID. So here I will mention that state is equal to dot state comma to user ID is equal to action dot payload, and then I will say break. So that means I will be updating the to user ID variable in the my state. So just put this in our reducer. First you have to put this variable in the top. So let me give you whole of the thing, and then I will give part by part. So what I changed, I created one case statement, which is this one, and I created this to user ID equal to null. So add these two things. Now, since reducer is created, let's create action also that will call the change user ID. So whenever we want to change the user ID, I need to call this action. So I will say export constant change user ID equal to arrow function, and here I will pass the new user ID, the one which will the new user ID, which will be replaced for the two, and here I will say return, and I will return type equal to and payload equal to new user ID. Payload will be new user ID, type will be user ID. So just create this function in the action, chat action. This one will be helpful when we will change the user ID, so we know which user is now chatting with. Okay. Now, whenever we get this new to user ID, we need to change the user ID to this user ID. We also need the details of this user ID. So we need the details of this user ID, right? So let's create another reducer. Maybe I'll say to user details. I will create another variable, value null initially. This is the variable I will create in the reducer. Okay, and I will create one more type case statement, and it will be change user details. This will take this to user ID with action.payload. Just add this change user details here. Okay. And so similarly, since we created the reducer, so we need to also create the action for it, and we will create the action now in the chat actions. So we will be creating another action, maybe, or I can call it as export constant change user details, and I will say it as I will pass the to user ID here for which I want to change the details, and here I will call the Firebase function to change it. So for example, I will copy it from our myaction.js. I have this one. So I will copy this part and I will put it here. But here, this part, I will change it to what I name it as change user details. So I will change the type to change user detail. Then we will call the promise, and promise will go to the Firebase, and Firebase will give me the details, and we will be able to get the details of the new user ID. Okay, so now I have to add the Firebase here in the top so that I can take a use of it. So I will copy these two lines of the code and I will put it in the actions. But now since the path is now one level down, so I have to go two level back up. So this is the Firebase. So add one part, this one, in the action. So add these two lines of the code in the action. And then add this function. Okay, so now, so we are able to get the details and we are able to get the user ID, able to change the user ID. But if you see in my reducer, I have to use fulfilled, otherwise it will not work, because whenever we use promise, we need to use fulfilled. So go to your chat reducer, the last case, add the fulfilled also, because otherwise it will not work. So it should be change user details fulfilled. Since we have the action of change user details, so the reducer will have change user details fulfilled. Okay. Now what we have to do, now what we will do is, so whenever we reload the page or whenever we change from one user to another, we have to call these two actions. That is, one is this one and another is this one. We have to call this both to really change the user. So let's build the Redux part and try to use this one. So I will call this connect statement in my chat page. Add this connect statement in the chat page. And here I will be calling the Redux template and let's call the redux part. I don't need this one. So first thing is I need to call action also, which I will be using in this one. So in the top, I will import both the action. One is change user ID, and second is change user details. I will call both the action, and since it will go to 2 level up, no, it will call directly from the action page. So I will just say dot get action.js. So just put this in the top, and then put I have to manipulate this width. So just add this one in the top. One is chat action, one is the connect one. Now I will work on this part. So for the reducer, I need to get my reducer for the people who are logged in. I want to, even I don't need the my reducer. I need only the chat reducer right now. So I will say chat reducer, and I'll say here chat reducer. I will fill this one later on. 1 second. So here we need two things. First is I need to, okay, I will hold on for a second. So just put these 2 lines of the code, this line and this line. Okay. So, or I will put this here. So first put these 2 lines of the code, then we will go further. Now add this line of the code because this is common in the bottom. Add this one where we are calling the chat reducer. Okay. Now here we will create couple of functions. One function will be change user ID one. So I will put change user ID, and here I will say new user ID, and here I will say call change user ID. Another one I will say I will create two functions. One was change user ID, another one is change user details. So I will say change user details, and here I will say change user details, and I'll pass the user ID to user ID. I can name it anything here. Maybe I can say UID or to UID. So I'm right now keeping same, but I can change it to whatever I want. So I created two functions here. One is for user details and one is for the user ID. And I will call this here like this. So one is change user details and one is the change user ID. Okay. Now whenever we reload the page and whenever we have this user ID, we should be able to change the user to whoever is here. So I will call these two functions. So I will say here, maybe I can create one function. What function we are using here? Let's see. We are able to call one function called as get user details. Okay, so create a function get user details, and I have to call these two functions. I will say this dot props dot call change user ID, and I will pass the user ID. Here in the get user details, I will say to user ID. I will pass the to user ID here, and also I'll call this dot props dot change user details, call change user details, and I'll pass to user ID. And these two only will be available when we have two user ID. So if we don't have user ID, we will return null. Don't want to call it. So we will call these two functions to only when we have user ID. And when I get this component date mount, I get the user ID from the URL, and I can say this dot get user ID, get user details to user ID. So update these two functions. Okay. So now I will see in the URL whether I'm getting the. So since now the page has, I will check in the URL whether I'm getting all the details as expected. Since now this is the generic page, I don't have the user in the top URL, so I'm not able to see. I'm not able to see anything here for the. Okay, one more thing I have to do before I test it. If you see, we need to put, whenever we create a reducer, we need to put it in the store. So I will open my store.js, and here I will add this import reducer from, and I will say slash modules slash chat slash chat reducer.js, and I will add this chat reducer here. So I have to import this statement, just add this line in the store.js, and then add the following thing, chat reducer after the food reducer in the store call. Or I can give you the full store call and save it. So whenever we create a new reducer, we have to add it here, otherwise it will not work. Now I will test some conditions whether I'm getting the to user ID properly or not. So if I go to my state, chat reducer has no user ID, no to user ID. Okay, before I show you, just let me know when you're done with this adding in store.js.
On the second one, you put there, comma, chat reducer. Where does that go?
Yeah, here in the store line, after you have food reducer, you have to just put comma chat reducer.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, now I will refresh the page, and since I don't pass user ID in the URL, I will not see anything in the chat user reducer because we don't have user ID now. Now let's put the user ID and see how it appears. So if I put user ID in the URL, and then if I open my reducer, chat reducer, I will get two user ID also with some name, and two user details also. I will get all the information. So since I get the information, I can now show chatting with something. I can show here. So let's show that here in the chat.js. Since I'm getting everything in the chat reducer, I can show chatting with, I can show this dot props dot chat reducer dot, I will go here and see what is that, to user details dot display name. So display name. And I will say refresh. Let's see what happened in the refresh. Now I am getting error. So I already showed you when, because since we don't have this immediately, it goes to the server and get it. So we are not getting this information. So what we can do, we can say I will copy this and I will paste it here, and I'll say and I will say and, or I will use this one, question mark, and I will say colon empty string. Let's do. So initially it's empty string. When I get something from the server, I'm getting able to show it. So what I did, I will put this one, this dot props dot chat reducer to user details. If I have this one, if I have this variable available, then display the display name, otherwise display null. So this is kind of, if this is true, show this, otherwise show null. So you have to put this line of statement here. So you have to put chatting with this one like this. So initially when the page load, it will show empty string till it get it from the server. And once it gets from the server, it is showing proper name. Kate, what happened? Okay. Now, since I am able to show this one, whoever is to user ID, I'm able to show this kind of thing. Also, now we will show the chat users. That is who I can chat with. So I can show those chat users on the left hand side. So let's copy that code. Since this chat user will not be used in any other component, so we can get this chat user here directly. We don't need the variable in the Redux for showing this chat users, because this will be on the main page of the chat and it will not be available in all the we don't need it to call in any other component or maintain the state everywhere. So I will copy this code and I will put it here, because this code is anyhow needed. So I will say get chat users with this all the details. UID is this one, and the person who is logged in. And I have all the information here. So I will create one chat users as a variable in the state. Initially it will be null. And I will also, since I want the UID, who is the logged in user. So I can grab the code for the logged in user. Since I save it in the local storage also, so here is the way I can get the user who is logged in, and I will put that user here. I don't need the user ID here, since I know who is the logged in one by calling this code. So I will make this UID like this: var UID is equal to users object dot UID, and okay. So now I will call this UID here. I will call this chat users, and I will sort it. And then since I'm using sorting on dynamic sort, I need to call dynamic sort in the top. So I will copy the dynamic sort part here in the top. So dynamic sort from, I have to go 2 level back. I'm using this functions.js. As I already told, I'm making this chat part isolated to the whole one. But this function.js will be available in all my projects, because these are the common functions which I will use in all my projects. So definitely function.js will be there in every project. So I will use the dynamic sort here, and I'm getting the chat users. I'm filling all the information, and then I'm getting the chat users in the bottom. And I will call this chat users when the page is loaded. So that means in the component did mount, I will call this dot get users chat users. Irrespective of if I have to user ID or not, I will be calling this dot chat user when the page will load. Let me see if it's coming. Okay, Firebase constant database is not defined. So let's grab this one, and I will put it here. Firebase will also be available in all my projects. So okay, now I am able to get the information, but I'm not able to see it. How can I show you? Let's put the state variable here. Console.log state is state, this dot state, and let's see. So I will say state is, I can see all the chat users here. Okay, so I am getting the chat users. Now you put the things. First put something in the top. So put these 3 lines of the code in the top. Okay, now add this get chat users function. You can copy from old chat, but I added few things. I changed something here, so you can use it, this new one. And now put this line of code in the component did mount. Okay, now what I will do, I'm getting the chat user in the state variable, and then I will pass that chat users to the chat user component. That is, this is the chat user. I will pass this chat users component. So just do this change. Now we need to add the chat users in the state, not in the props. To in the constructor, we have to use this one, like this one, no props. And then I'm passing it here. Now, since the chat users will be almost same, but we need to add more things. So let's copy the chat users from here and try to put all here. So I will copy the chat users part from the old chat users.js file because it is same till now. And I'll give you in the chat also. So put it in the chat user. So chat users part will be same. And I'm able to get this chat users. So just copy it from your old file or just I put it in the chat, use that one. So update your chat users with the content which we were using yesterday. Okay, so one last thing which we will do now before finishing up. Let's say if I have this user and if I click this second user, I should be able to change the user here. So chatting with web development, if I click Ambi, I should be chatting with Ambi. So we will do this thing last now and before we finish off. So to do this, I need to make this chat users page. I need to make this chat users page as a Redux one before I do that. So let me first convert it into the Redux. So I will use this one chat user here. I will call this connect in the UR top, and I will chat users chat action. So I'm trying to make it Redux friendly, and I'll copy this one here. Okay, so I made it user friendly, and I call these two functions from the actions, because when I change the user from one user to another, I will call this one to change the user. So now you have to make it Redux like structure. So to make it Redux, call this one in the top of the chat users page. Also call this bottom to make it is same as chat one. I just copied it from chat, and it's same. If you can copy, you want to copy, you can copy from chat.js, or you can copy it from the chat box.
Which one?
The bottom part, this map to props, map to dispatch, and this connect one, you can copy from chat.js, or you can copy from the chat where I pasted it. Okay. Now before we go and change the user to another user, I need to pass one more thing from the chat.js. So open your chat.js, and where we are recalling the chat users, I need to pass one more thing here, and that will be dot 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 this dot props. This will be needed in one case, which I will show you in few minutes. So just add this part in the chat user component in the chat.js. So that means we are passing all the props from this page to another page.
Yes.
Okay, so now what I will do, I will say I will create a hyperlink on this one, or I will create one function, for example, change user. Here I will create one function called as change user, which will take one parameter e, and it will also take one parameter to UID, and here I will say e dot prevent default. I will prevent default, and I will create one URL where I want to send user to. That URL will be /chat/ +2 UID, and here I will say this dot props dot history dot push URL. So to change the URL, With this new URL, I will call this statement this.props.ht.push URL. And I will also call two functions which I have mentioned here, that were these two, so to change the user ID. So I will call this.props.call change user ID to user ID. To user ID is to UID here, and this is to UID here. So I'm calling these two to really change the user information. And then last thing will be, there is one more statement which I will add it, that I will do later on. Few more lines I will add tomorrow. I don't want to use it now. And so when I click the user, I will create a tag hreference equal to this. On click, I will call one function, and that function will be this one. So I'll say on click this dot change user dot bind this, comma, I will put the user ID which I am calling. Yeah, that's it. So when I click this one, I will say this dot change user dot bind this dot value dot ID. Where from where I got value dot ID? If I show you database in the chat users, I am saving the ID as ID. So here I am calling this value dot ID. So now when I click the user, it will change the URL by using this line. It will call these two functions that will really change the state value, and we will get the new user displayed on the page. Let's check this one. Then you can write. So right now I have Ambi Alga. Here in the URL you will see 7. When I click this one, you will see URL is changed and I'm chatting with different user. I can call anything and I'm able to change the user. Okay, so right now I'm able to change the user. So copy these lines of the code, change user in the chat users.js, and then first put this change user in the top, and then change this line of code where we have value dot display name.
I'm sorry, I had to jump on real quick.
Okay, take your time.
So what did I miss? Let's see, chat.
What, pardon?
The last thing I copied was change user.
Okay, yeah, change user, and after that you have to change the line where you display the name. So change user is the one thing, and second thing is you have to change this one.
A little problem.
Problem?
Yeah. Can I invite you?
Yeah.
That's on line 29. Around there. B tag.
Not from.
Go to your
App.
so.js. Okay, so let's say chat reducer from chat modules chat reducer.js. Okay, modules chat reducer dot open your chat reducer.js. Okay, chat reducer. Okay, open the page. Let's see what is the error again. Module not found. Can't resolve modules chat reducer.js in put donation source folder. So you cannot found. Go back again to the page. Let's see. You have modules and you have chat and then you have chat reducer.js. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Go up. So you put your modules inside the components folder. You should move it into the source folder.
Into the source folder.
Yeah. So right now your modules is in the components folder.
Can I move it right now?
Yeah. Just drag and drop also. Click it and drag it, drop to source folder.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe, or maybe, yeah. Go it and then.
Okay, right now.
Okay. First close all the files. Otherwise it will be problem.
Okay.
First close all the files. Close all. You can say, yeah. Now drag and drop modules to the source folder. Right. Yeah. Don't update. No. No, don't update. Okay. Now go up there. Go to page.
Go to refresh.
Yeah. Refresh it. Okay. Now you have maybe let's see what is the problem. Just let's see again the folder structure is proper or not. Okay, go down. Go down. Go down. Go a little bit down.
Yeah.
I cannot go down. मम्मी के रूम में देख. Yeah, this looks fine. Restart your. Restart. Yeah, let's see. Control C. Yeah. नहीं बैठ. क्यों डर गई? बस 2 मिनट में.
No.
So open your localhost 3000.
Yes.
Not 3001. Why 3001? 3000. So you have error in the line number. Since you copy pasted, there may be some problem. Go to chat users.js. Yeah, chat users.js file and try to fix it. Ampersand and greater than sign also you to fix it on the same line. Yeah, save it now. Go there.
Oh, works. Finally.
Yeah, now go to
Okay.
chat and
Go
why
to check.
D? Why it's coming D? Only D.
Oh, why?
Go to go to your console.log. Let's see. Yeah, console. Click the console. Refresh the page. Let's see. Okay, put slash. No, it's fine. It should be displaying it. Go up. Open the next state. Open the next state in the here. Next state. Yeah. So okay. So maybe while copy pasting, you might have done some mistake.
Okay, I can check later.
Yeah, you have to get it my files after the class is over.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, yeah, pardon.
At this point, should it just be blank?
It should be like this one. You should be able to see user list.
Because mine's just blank. She has the D. Mine just is blank.
Okay, you have the users in the list in your Firebase. Yesterday you chatted with someone.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh. Okay, so go to console.log. Click the console in the top. Yeah, it's okay. So open the next state. Okay, open the. Now what you have to do, to debug it. Okay, something is wrong. You're getting two user ID as something which should not be coming, because two user ID only comes when you choose one user. So you also might have done it something while copy pasting. There may be some issues. Otherwise, it should be fine. It should look like this. Okay. So just take my files and then we will do it. We'll see what's happening.
Yeah, I'll compare and see what's wrong.
Okay. Now tell me one thing. If I use this reducer, if I don't use the reducer, will it work? I'm using this.proc.history, this.proc.call in user ID, which is this one. If I don't use this one, let's say if I delete the reducer part and I'll delete this one. Now tell me whether this will work or no.
I don't know.
So
Okay, let's see. I'm able to get it. Why? What is the reason? I deleted it, then also I'm able to get it. The reason is
Because
in
it's
the chat. Yeah, the reason is in the chat.js, I passed this dot props. That means whatever the props I have in this page, I passed it to chat users. So even if I don't use reducer here, all the functions which I'm calling will be available from this part. Since I am passing all the props, that means all these props are available on the chat users page. So we don't need even to call the reducer on this page. Got it?
yes.
Because
okay.
what this whenever you call the reducer, everything which is there goes under the format of this dot props. So if I'm passing this dot props, then everything will be available here without even calling the redux. So right now I will not call redux because it is not required. Everything I'm getting from this dot props. So I will commit all the changes and then you